Howdy, on X Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright, oh man, you know what? It's only 4 a.m. I forgot. I. I forgot. Well, we can stop and look for cars or whatnot along the way, I guess. Animals, something. I forget that the stupid store isn't open until later. Makes it a bit tricky. Have I been in here? I do not see an opening. Thought you might have some cars. Ooh, and some fuel barrels. That's really what I'm after, right? It's the fuel. Can't remember what buttons. You're supposed to have fuel, man. Fuel. So. Yes. Was looking at some D&D stuff today, because that's what I talk about when I play 7 Days to Die, right? Some D&D. So they, oh, jeez. It's twice I tried to make a jump there, and my guy did not respond. Well, now you're too tired to make the jump. Wasn't worth it anyways. But I was looking at a new program for playing the game. Or not a program, I guess, a website. Looked interesting, called, I don't know what it's called. That doesn't help, right? Can't tell a story, I don't know the name of it. Let me see what it's called. I can look. It was called... Wow. Totally didn't bookmark it. Signed up for it, though, so I want to check it out here sometime. But it looked like it had a nice little map builder built right into the program that everybody shares. Oh, nice. And it's definitely something I might want to look into at some point here. We played our D&D game last night. Oh man, it was... So... So I've been talking about how I don't like how the adventure books are laid out, because, right, if you can't make up your own game, it's going to be really difficult to make up the parts that are missing from the book to make it a cohesive story, right? I said that many. I should be making my own ammo. Why am I not making my own ammo? But I've been saying that for a while now, and because I make up my own world. The D&D games I run are, for the most part, games that I personally made up. And not that there's anything wrong with playing the book. I also run one of the books, and most of the games that I play in are from the books. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't like what happens in the books. And this current one we're playing, I expected different from it, I guess. And I haven't sat down and really gone through it because I'm playing it as a player, so somebody else is running it. You know, my normal Wednesday night. See how annoying we can be, DM. And but I'm noticing that I'm not particularly enjoying it. It's bizarre, and not in a good way. And like a lot of it requires to make it good, you have to be able to improvise conversations, and our DM does not. Or when he does, it's just cursing and yelling at us until he decides that we should be attacked. And last night was a prime example of how this situation goes. And I kind of checked out last night, to be honest. I mean, there was no point in me paying attention after a given moment or two, and so I just kind of was looking at other things. I don't even remember what I was looking at, but I don't think I was playing a video game, but I kind of wished I had been. Whoa. But the so floor one, right? Floor one of this thing is it's this. Long story short, there's a giant dungeon underneath a bar in the biggest city in the world, and it's famous for having this giant dungeon. The problem is that it's called a dungeon, but it's not really a dungeon. It's a series of connected caves and actual dungeons, and I think there's a city somewhere in there as well, and maybe 3 cities. They mentioned something about a place called Skullport, which we haven't been to yet, and so on the first floor, and this makes no sense to me, I can't wrap my head around why this is a thing in this book. I don't know who thought it was funny. I guess the current authors are not funny to me of D&D books, and they are trying to be funny, and I don't like funny in that way in my game. And then on top of that, I've got a DM who's terrible at improvising conversations, and they almost always just result in fighting us. We're never allowed to interact. It's always just yell, 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 yell. Combat has begun, and then why didn't you try to interact with the NPC? You don't have to fight everything, dude. You didn't even stop talking. Like between when we first opened the door and combat started, you didn't once pause. Like, I guess it's a problem of manners for me. You don't talk over someone else. And so he's talking, so I'm waiting for him to get to the point where we're allowed to say what we're going to do. But he never does, and he just talks and talks and talks, and then combat starts, and we didn't even get to make a choice. So anyways, all right. So I gotta concentrate on this here to show my point. So you're the biggest city in the world. It's specifically known as the biggest city in the world. It's the most advanced technology-wise. Probably there might be some places that are more magic than this place, but this place is like most of the world is stone. Most of the places are dirt roads, you know, with torches and, you know, maybe lanterns if you're lucky, you know, stuff like that. Whereas this place is like gas lantern or gas lights line the streets. I mean, they're magic based, but you know, stuff like that. And so horseless carriages, magic based, cart people from place to place. There's a magic carpet system built in that takes you from place to, stuff like that. And ooh, this is what I needed to make gunpowder. Look at that. Awesome. And so it's not a rundown dump of a place, and like most places in D&D tend to be. And so in the center of the city, basically, is this bar called the Yawning Portal. It's massive, like 8 floors or something like that, just in the bar section. And it might not be 8, it might be like 4. But still, there's a lot. There's a stone golem in the middle of the bar whose only job is to raise and lower the elevator that sends people down. They cheer and stuff when adventurers, which I hate that term, when people who want to go explorers is even worse, I guess, I don't know, are going to go into this dungeon. And so it's a big deal for people to go in there, but people are doing it all the time. It's the thing to do when you come to this particular bar, right? So this isn't like a random hole in the wall that you found while out in the middle of nowhere that happened to lead you into a set of ruins that were buried 1,000 years ago by volcanic ash where, the undead whatever. No, this is like a place where people go. This is a place where people go all the time. Okay, so that brings us to floor 1 of this air quotes dungeon. And it's in the book, and I think it's stupid. So you go in there, and basically the first group you come to are actors pretending to be vampires, actors pretending to be a gang of vampires who demand you pay them to let them through. So this is the first floor of a dungeon where people routinely go to adventure. And in the previous campaign book, a troll, which is a fairly powerful creature, came out of the dungeon. So if that kind of stuff can come out, you're telling me that a group of outerwork actors are pretending to be vampires to con people out of their money on the first floor, and not just one group, but 2 groups pretending to be vampires. Why? I don't know. It's never made clear. How did they get away with this? I don't know. It's never made clear. And so the book says, and here's how my DM works. All right, the book says your adventurers will encounter, right, the actors. Should they choose to kill the actors, this will leave a power vacuum in the dungeon, and if they so choose to get rid of the actors, then somebody else will move in. I don't remember who the next group was. And should your people then return after after killing those guys, then they're going to find the next group has taken over. And and so it was.
Can you help me with no matter what? I'm grateful for
it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, if Xanathar's guild is going to move into this place after these actors pretending to be I need this. Are pretending to be...
Peace be with you, my friend.
I need that, because my fists are bladed weapons. Because I have the... Right? Maybe they aren't bladed weapons. I don't remember. Yeah, the serrated blades. They're blades. And so, so I'm dumbfounded at this point, right? I'm like, so these guys are supposed to be stopping Xanathar's guild. The organized crime won't come in here because actors are pretending to be vampires? Are you kidding me? So anyways, our DM, he doesn't read any of that. No. He only reads what's in an individual room after we've come to the room, and then whatever's in the room is in the room. And it's quite routinely done that way. And so, like, like in the first campaign for this two-campaign story, I guess, they're not directly related. They just both take place in the same place. One's a level 1 through level 5. The other is a level 5 through level 20. And so they're kind of considered part 1, part 2. And so in part 1, there was a spot where these dudes on a ship are supposed to possibly attack you. And they aren't supposed to show up until later in the fight if things go a certain way. Well, our DM did not read that section. He just saw what bad guys were supposed to be there and attacked us with all those bad guys at once. And he did it again last night. He does the same thing. He just puts all the bad guys out. And so, even though it says Xanathar's guild is not currently present and will move in to occupy the first floor after... and see, this is where some of that improvisation needs to take place. I don't understand how actors are going to take over anything. Especially a place where people are routinely coming in and out, and monsters as well. It makes no sense to me. I don't get why it's supposed to be. I assume it's supposed to be funny. Like, haha, there's some actors who pretending to be vampires. Haha. I guess? Maybe? I don't know. But, so, yeah. And then the second floor, we get to the second floor. I don't even understand what's supposed to be going on the second floor. We went through a lot of it, and I guess I really thought this was supposed to be a dungeon crawly kind of thing. And all we do is go around and find another NPC to talk to. And I hate it. I don't like this campaign. We already did the campaign where you just go around and people talk to you constantly. Can we go on an actual quest? Like, there's no quest. We don't have a reason to be here. I think that's why I hate these campaigns we're doing right now. There's no reason. There's no reason for me to be there. Nobody asks me to... I'm not trying to save the world. I'm not trying to stop a cult who's destroying cities. Our best friend Gundren hasn't been kidnapped. Why am I here? I don't... Like, I get that that's the book, and we should just... So I'm having a hard time getting into it, because it seems pointless again. And so we get in there last night, and we finished floor 1 the previous week. We go to floor 2. Alright, what do we gotta do to make this chemistry bench too while I'm sitting here talking? And floor 2, the whole first 40 minutes of our gameplay was carefully working our way through the dungeon because they're trapped. And okay, so I need 3 cooking pots, 15 short iron pipes, and 1 beaker, and a burning barrel. Okay. Pipes, beaker. I thought I had more than one of those. Probably need some of that. Nope, that. Okay, what do I gotta do to make a... That's me. I don't know, I just clicked on that. Burning barrel. Oh, you make that over here. I've forgotten what the other thing is. Beaker, burning barrel. Oh, cooking pots, right. Are those made in here? They are. And, so, like, every place we went to was covered in dust and empty, and there was nothing. There was nothing. We found a kitchen, we found some empty rooms, we found a statue. I think there was a throne at one point where nobody was there. Just room after room of nothing. No footprints, no tracks, no reason to be. And I pretty much checked out at that point. And then we'd heard some goblin voices, but we went the other direction. I let the other guy lead the game because this is his only game of D&D, and I run my own game of D&D. That's not true. You know what? He's in that game of D&D as well. I guess I'm just tired. I've been playing D&D with this guy as the DM for a long time now. I thought the other guy was going to start leading a game and we would alternate like every other week. I should probably start my own thing, and then we could do every third week. We go back to the other person's campaign. If I could find the time. I mean, that's the real trick, isn't it? But it's yeah, it's a bit crazy for sure. Oh, I thought it was gigantic. It popped over there weird, and I was like, "There's no room for this in my base." All right, so I need to know how to make gunpowder. Is a stack of gunpowder? Nitrate powder and coal. Alright. That actually says niter, right? Not nitrate. Where is it? Oh, it is nitrate powder. Nitrate powder and coal. I do not have a lot in the way of nitrate powder and coal. Here, hold this. Well, you take that. And then you need to be making me bullet tips. Bullet tips. And bullet casings. Okay, and then I am going to go find coal, I guess. I'm pretty sure... Like, this is niter right here, so we don't have to go far for niter. So I just need to find coal. So we gotta look for the boulders. Boulders? Yeah. boulders. That is the way it's currently marked, which is nice because, okay, here's a boulder, and then we dig. Am I digging the wrong thing here? You're just a boulder. You were literally just a boulder. Am I doing this wrong? I thought you'd dig up one thing of ground next to it, and it tells you what's under it. But I'm not seeing anything remotely. Oh, you know what? You can get coal in the this is niter and lead, right? I guess I should make some ladders. Oh, right, I'm out of wood. But yeah, so we spent a while wandering around with dusty rooms, and then we met a guy, and he attacked us, and then we went to another place, and it didn't attack us, and so but it also wasn't friendly because nothing ever is, and then we went to the Goblin Marketplace. Why are all these trees like dead? And let's get some trees planted here. And then we were at the marketplace. Then things just got all super weird. So we picked up this guy. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea to get this guy to join our team. He's a revenant, and we know that he's a revenant, and revenants are single-mindedly focused on killing the person who wronged them. And so we knew this guy's bad news. And so we're wandering around the Goblin Market, and we go to where the Goblin leader is, and one of the people that he wants to kill is currently being held by the goblins in the Goblin Market. And so he immediately goes for that guy. Or he's being held by the king, I guess, as the king wants to negotiate his death. And he demanded 300 gold. And so the other guy, I don't know why, but the other guy was trying to negotiate. Wait, this is lead. I thought this was niter. Well, shoot. Niter's the round one. Yeah. Okay, so we need... Why am I walking anyways? I have a motorcycle. It does things like goes off-road. We need to find the roundy kind of stone. So I have lead next to my base. I need the roundy kind. I say that. It looks like a white, round boulder. It's small, so it looks a lot like that lead. Lead is square. is literally just a boulder. Just a boulder. Not a boulder at all. And so this was another point where our DM just kept talking and talking and talking, and we never got to even respond. And then he'd ask us a question, he wouldn't even wait for the answer. And so before we could even try to interject, we were in combat at that point. Lead? Yes. And you are also lead. Yes. You're not what I need. I need the nitrate. You're a regular boulder. But yeah, it was I mean, it wasn't unexpected. So then one of the things that I like is that we're fighting these low-level creatures, right? Like goblins and stuff. And so we're not low-level-ish anymore. We're level 6, and so somewhere in there I picked up a nice cone spell, which means that it starts at you and goes out in a cone shape, and so it'll hit lots of people all at once, right? And so I hit my own guy with it last night, even, and but I like the goblins, and then he moves all the goblins so they can take advantage of being annoying, and they never attack us with swords because, oh, there we go. This is what I was looking for right here. Nitrate. Okay. That little ball right there, that's nitrate. And so, he always attacks us from a distance so they can try and run away. Everything always tries to run away. Nothing ever tries to stand and fight. It's super annoying. I know I have a limited amount of D&D, but, like, why does nothing try to stand and fight? We stand and fight, so nothing ever will surrender either. We do a lot of trying to make things surrender, or we try and knock them unconscious, or things like that, and then it never works. And so he moves all the goblins in so they can shoot us with their short bows, but he brought them within 30 feet of my guy, and so I blasted him with the cone spell and killed pretty much all the goblins with one attack, which is nice. I've been using that every time he gets a big group of things to try and take us out. And so but it got super annoying because he forgot to roll initiative on one of the groups, and so part of D&D is combat, and combat is a tactical game, which is played on a grid. And so it'd basically be like if you're playing a game of chess, and the person you're playing missed their turn somehow, and then after you made your move, counteracting their next turn, they decided to go back and take advantage of what you've done by saying, "Oh, I missed my turn. I need to go back and take my previous turn that I missed now that you've made your move." And so some of that was happening last night, and Or like we'll enter a room and he won't put anything on the map until we're in the room, and then once we're in the room, then he shows us where all the bad guys are at. And so I know last night the other guy kept saying, we want to open the door, and he's like, so you open the door and then you go in the room, and he's like, well, no, we want to look around first before we enter the room. Oh, I guess you could do that. And oh, this is not the square. And so he's still doing the thing where he doesn't show us what's in the room until after we enter the room, bad guy wise sometimes, and then he places the bad guys down. Well, what happens is that you've entered the room and you've taken up your positions, and now instead of fighting from a distance, which I know he absolutely... What is the button to... There we go. Seriously, I can't find an edge on this thing. Okay, there we go. And so he takes the goblin's turn, and they do their stuff, and then I think my guy goes next, so I kill some of the goblins, and then there's these bugbears, and they've already taken... Well, they started the game, the combat, by attacking the guy that our revenant... Or attacking the revenant who's with us, who's causing the problem here because he wants to kill the guy that the goblins have captive, and they want to be paid for it. So then goblins go. My one guy goes, kills a couple of them, and then the next guy is my bard, and then he goes and kills off most of the goblins and really hurts the goblin leader. And then the I was trying to think who was last. I think the thief, the other guy who plays with this, goes and takes his turn, and then he realizes that he's forgotten to do the bugbears, and so bugbears are not bugs or bears. I'm not sure why they're called bugbears. They're just big goblins. Not like an orc necessarily, but somewhere between an orc and a goblin. Orcs are bigger than goblins. Goblins are small. Bugbear is about the size of an orc, but it's dumber or less angry. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the deal is with bugbears, but they're there. And so then he takes a turn with the bugbears, and then he takes a turn with the bugbears again. Because when he rolled their initiative after everybody else had taken their turn, they got first. And so he went twice in a row. And so yeah, and you know, on top of that, he did a ton of damage to my guy, and I really hate it because you can't see what he's rolling, and he won't show you. He just tells you, oh, you take 20 damage from that one attack. I'm like, who hit me for 20 damage? Like, 12 is like the max I can do, and that's if I'm rolling good. And he's like, oh, well, he got a crit. I'm like, okay, well, you didn't say that. You just said I took 20 damage. It'd be better if you'd show what you're rolling, because it's ridiculous that you won't show us what you're rolling. Well, sometimes I have to fudge the numbers because I don't want you guys to die. Yet nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. You're cheating and we know it. And that's why you don't want to show the numbers. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyways, should probably... Ooh, those bullet tips. Should probably end this episode. Gunpowder. I've been collecting it. Gunpowder looks like a padlock to me. It... can I make 762? I can. Alright. I wish I could get some information on these. Make one of each then, and then I will look at their stats. Can we do that? I think HP is hollow point, AP is armor piercing, and then 762 is just regular. So quick before we end here, let's see what it says. Range damage 50 for regular. Range damage 50, negative 20% on target armor, +1 on target penetration. I don't know what this does. And then this is 65 range damage, but the target's armor gets a bonus. Yeah. Yeah, so HP doesn't work against armored individuals, whereas armor piercing does, but HP gets better damage. Well, I mean, it does work against armored individuals. It's just, so how much can I make total? 19. So let's say I make 10 of these and 10 of these then? What? What's the difference? Oh, armor piercing takes more gunpowder but less bullet tips. HP takes more bullet tips. Well, then give me 5 of those, and I'll finish the one off with that while I need to go find some coal. Right? Or was that gunpowder related? Alright, well... Ooh, I put a... It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Did you see that? I put a grenade in the forge. A grenade. That wasn't smart. But, with that, click like if you like. Subscribe, share, and catch the next one. And I will talk to you later.